Before you listen any further, pause for a moment and ask yourself this. What truth are you avoiding right now because it feels uncomfortable to face? Write it in the comments, or at least sit with it quietly as you listen, because this message is not meant to comfort you. It is meant to tell the truth. Awareness is not gentle. It is not soothing. It does not protect illusions. And that is why it feels painful. Awareness becomes painful the moment it starts to strip away the stories you've lived inside for years. The identities you relied on, the beliefs that made life predictable, the meanings you attach to people and events, all of it begins to loosen. Not because something is wrong, but because something is finally right. Illusion survives on unconsciousness. The moment you see clearly, illusion cannot remain intact. And the mind resists this loss because it equates familiarity with safety. Most people think pain comes from external events, but awareness reveals something more disturbing. The pain was already there, hidden beneath distraction, justification, and hope. Awareness does not create suffering. It exposes it. It removes the anesthesia that kept you functioning while being inwardly divided. When illusions fall, you feel naked. Not because you lost something real, but because you can no longer hide from what is false. Illusions are comforting because they give structure to confusion. They tell you who you are, what you should want, and where happiness supposedly lives. Awareness dismantles that structure without offering a replacement, and that emptiness feels terrifying. The mind asks, if this isn't true, then what is? But awareness does not answer in words. It asks you to remain present without conclusions. When awareness deepens, you start seeing your reactions as they arise. Anger, jealousy, fear, pride, none of them are hidden anymore. And the discomfort comes from seeing that these reactions were never caused by others. They were patterns, conditioned responses, illusions of self-protection. Awareness ends blame. And that ending feels like loss because blame was a form of escape. The illusion that you are in control is one of the first things awareness destroys. You begin to notice that thought happens on its own, emotion surges without permission, and desire contradicts reason. This realization shakes the foundation of the ego. The ego survives by believing it is the doer, the chooser, the manager of life. Awareness reveals that most of what you call you is inherited, learned, repeated. This is where many people turn back. They call awareness depressing, spirituality confusing, or truth too heavy. But what they are actually avoiding is the collapse of psychological security. Illusions gave them a place to stand. Awareness removes the ground, not to make you fall, but to show you that you were never standing on anything solid to begin with. Awareness also destroys the illusion of time as a psychological refuge. You can no longer hide in the future or romanticize the past. Regret and hope lose their grip. And without those familiar movements, the mind feels trapped. But it is not trapped. It is exposed. Awareness brings you into what is, and what is does not negotiate. There is pain in seeing how much of your life was driven by fear disguised as choice. Fear of being alone, fear of being insignificant, fear of not being enough. Awareness does not condemn this. It simply reveals it. And seeing the truth without judgment is far more uncomfortable than being comforted by lies. Relationships change under awareness. Not because others change, but because you stop projecting. You see people as they are, not as you need them to be. And this clarity feels lonely at first. Illusion made connection easy because it allowed expectation. Awareness removes expectation, and intimacy must become honest, or end. One of the most painful illusions awareness destroys is the belief that suffering has meaning, that pain will be rewarded, that endurance equals virtue. Awareness shows you that suffering continues only because it is misunderstood. And when that illusion falls, you are left with a strange responsibility to end unnecessary suffering by seeing it clearly. The mind resists awareness by seeking conclusions, labels, spiritual identities, explanations. But awareness is alive. It does not crystallize. The pain comes when the mind wants certainty and awareness offers only presence. Yet it is this presence that dissolves conflict, not answers. As awareness sharpens, you stop feeling special. And this is deeply unsettling. The ego thrives on uniqueness through comparison. Awareness sees that comparison itself is the root of disorder. There is no higher or lower, awakened or asleep, only attention or inattention. And this equality feels like a loss to the ego. Illusions promise arrival. Awareness reveals there is nowhere to arrive. This realization strips ambition of its psychological fuel. You still act, but not to complete yourself. And the mind finds this frightening because it was trained to chase fulfillment as a future event. Awareness destroys the illusion that someone else will save you, emotionally, spiritually, or existentially. There is no rescuer coming, no final teaching, no perfect relationship. This truth feels harsh only because dependence was mistaken for love. As illusions fall, silence appears. Not the silence of suppression, but the silence of non-interference. And many mistake this silence for emptiness. But it is not empty. It is unoccupied, no longer crowded by narratives demanding belief. The pain of awareness is temporary, but the clarity it brings is irreversible. Once seen, illusion cannot fully return. This is why awakening feels like disorientation. The old map no longer works, and the new one cannot be drawn. Awareness also exposes how often you acted against your own intelligence, how often you betrayed yourself for approval, security, or belonging. This seeing can feel like shame, but awareness does not shame. It liberates by ending repetition. There is grief in awareness, grief for lost time, lost innocence, lost certainty. But this grief is clean. It does not accumulate. It passes when allowed to be seen without story. The illusion that life should be fair dissolves under awareness, not into bitterness, but into understanding. Reality does not operate on psychological preference. Seeing this ends resistance. Awareness removes the illusion of spiritual progress. There is no ladder, no hierarchy, only depth of attention. And depth cannot be owned. As awareness matures, fear changes form. It no longer screams, it whispers. And you see it. And because you see it, it loses authority. The final illusion awareness destroys is the illusion of separation. You see that the observer and the observed are not two, that the pain you feel is not personal. It is human. And this realization births compassion without effort. Awareness also reveals how language itself became a refuge for avoidance. Words like healing, growth, patience, and surrender were often used to postpone direct seeing. You begin to notice how easily explanations replace observation. Awareness strips language of its authority and returns you to direct contact with experience. This can feel destabilizing because the mind prefers concepts over contact. But clarity does not live in explanations. It lives in attention. As illusions dissolve, you may feel a strange fatigue, not of the body, but of the psyche. The constant effort to become, improve, fix, or transcend loses momentum. This exhaustion is not failure. It is honesty. Awareness ends unnecessary striving. The pain here is the collapse of psychological effort that once gave life direction. And yet, in this stillness, action becomes simpler, cleaner, and more intelligent. You may also notice that awareness removes the illusion of being understood. You stop needing validation for your inner discoveries. Not because you are superior, but because truth does not require agreement. This can feel isolating at first. But what fades is not connection. It is dependency. Awareness replaces emotional bargaining with quiet self-reliance. Another illusion awareness dismantles is the belief that conflict is necessary for growth. You see that struggle was never transformative. Only attentive perception was. Conflict consumed energy. Awareness conserves it. And when energy is no longer wasted on inner resistance, clarity begins to act through you naturally, without effort or intention. Awareness also dismantles the illusion that you must always know what to do. The urgency to decide, conclude, or resolve begins to fade. You realize that confusion was never the problem. Premature certainty was. When awareness is present, action arises naturally from perception, not from fear. This waiting without impatience feels uncomfortable at first, because the mind was trained to act to relieve anxiety, not to respond to truth. And so, awareness leaves you standing without psychological shelter, without excuses, without ideals to hide behind. What remains is not emptiness, but honesty. Life is no longer filtered through expectation or resistance. There is only what is, seen clearly, moment by moment. And in that seeing, illusion has no place to return, because truth no longer needs to fight. It is simply present. Finally, awareness reveals that freedom was never something to be achieved. It was obscured by illusion, not absent. When illusion ends, freedom does not arrive. It remains. There is nothing dramatic about this ending. No fireworks. Just a quiet, steady intelligence operating without distortion. And that simplicity is what the mind once feared most. Now pause again and reflect honestly. What illusion in your life feels most threatened right now? What truth are you circling but not entering? Share it in the comments if you feel called, or simply hold it silently. Awareness is painful only until illusion ends. After that, there is no pain left to protect you from the truth.